We come to you today from the Chesapeake Bay. A few days ago, Hurricane Mathew had us really worried, but luckily the storm changed its track and the impact to the mid-Atlantic was reduced. However, this got us thinking about heavy weather sailing, and we realized that other than one time back home in Boston at the dock, we've never actually sailed with our storm sail.
We left St. Michael's on the eastern shore of the Chesapeake and did a nice long run to Solomon's Island in the Patuxent River, which is just north of the Potomac. That's about 50 nautical miles. The winds were moderate, were rarely gusting above 18 knots. We were determined to try to use the storm sail. The winds were strong enough to fill the sail and get a feel for managing it, but they weren't so strong that we would fumble while we were practicing with it. We had a storm trysail track added to Argonne's mast last spring as part of our preparations for sailing offshore. North Sails designed and built the storm trysail and coordinated with the mast shop to ensure that the sail would work on this track and be sized properly for the boat. The sail is actually very tiny, with much less sail area than our mainsail when it's double reefed. In heavy weather or survival conditions, it should provide some stability and maneuverability to the boat. We really hope to never need to use this sail. Once deployed and slightly off the wind, the sail kept Argonne moving along at about 15 to 20% of the wind speed.
We learned a few things during this beta test of the storm sail. We need to fold the sail in a more efficient way to allow the head to be pulled out of the bag first, anticipating that we're going to be using the sail in very high winds. We need to add grommets to the sail bag so that we can hank it securely to the base of the mast. And we need to make a good splice for the tack line instead of the existing knot.
As long as we had the cameras rolling, we thought we would get some video of some typical sail handling. Many times when we're under sail, I'm down here working my day job and Linda's up in the cockpit essentially single-handing the boat. We thought we'd capture some of her doing that. Argonne's sail plan features a very large mainsail. It also has lazy jacks on the boom to aid in flaking the sail when we bring it down. These two things, though, make it a little bit tricky to raise sometimes if the winds are high. We have to go very directly into the wind to keep the battens from catching in the lazy jacks. And it's also such a large sail that it's very difficult to do manually, so we do have one electric winch. The halyards we have on Argonne are modern Dyneema cord type lines. They're very strong. Unfortunately, these lines don't work very well in some of the modern rope clutches. So one thing we've done to Argonne as a modification is we've put this Ronstand Constrictor rope clutch on for the main halyard. You can see it here. It actually has a long textile tube that the halyard goes through, and it gently squeezes the halyard much like a child's Chinese finger trap. The wind was behind the beam for most of that day, so we deployed the Reacher, our 150% Genoa. Since we have a Solent or dual headstay rig, it is impossible to tack with the Reacher unless we furl it in first. For that reason, we normally sail with our 90% working jib on the inner stay when the wind is forward of the beam. It is possible to gybe the Reacher, although it takes a bit of practice. The Reacher must be jibed outside of the headstays, much like a spinnaker. Linda has done this dozens of times by herself while I sit below working my day job.
We hope you enjoyed seeing some of the typical sail handling tasks that keep Argonne moving.
If you enjoy our videos, come check out our blog too. It's at argonnesailing.com. While you're there, you can sign up for updates, and you can also see our track and see where Argonne is recently when it's underway.
Until next time,
We
are
are gone.
gone.